Okay, sorry.
Perspective on Florida Gateway College Television is sponsored by Potash Corp of White Springs. Potash Corp, helping nature provide.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Perspective. This is a public affairs presentation of Florida Gateway College. My name is Mike McKee, and my guest on the program is Andrea Thomas. She is a park service specialist at Stephen Foster Folk Cultural Center in White Springs. We're going to talk about the Florida Folk Festival, which is happening Memorial Day weekend. We'll do that when we come back. Don't go away.
Your day starts before your feet touch the floor. You listen and encourage, plan and schedule, and work hard for the ones you love. You inspire creativity, help with homework, and somehow still find time to do your own. You are an example every day, investing in her future and yours. Florida Gateway College. Start here, go anywhere.
Welcome back to Perspective here on Florida Gateway College Television. Andrea Thomas is my guest on the program today. She represents the Stephen Foster Folk Cultural Center in White Springs. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, for those who don't know, what is Stephen Foster? We all know the songwriter from way back when that the park is named after. Tell us a little bit about Stephen Foster Folk Culture Center.
Well, Stephen Foster Folk Culture Center was actually started as the Stephen Foster Memorial, and the Federation of Music Clubs were the ones that kind of put it all together as a memorial and a tribute to America's first true composer. Well, he did a lot of the copyright rules that we have today and things like that. He was the songwriter and the composer that really started the whole music industry.
So tell me about Stephen Foster. From what I understand, he never came here. He never came to Florida, but because of the location of the Swanee River, which is one of his songs, but that's kind of the way they built the park, right?
It is actually. Josiah Lilly from Lilly Pharmaceuticals, he came down and he was a huge Stephen Foster fan and loved the Way Down Upon the Swanee River. And Stephen Foster had never actually visited the Swanee River, or the South for that matter. But they loved the song so much, they came down and picked out the prettiest place on the Swanee that they could find and built the memorial.
Now, Stephen Foster was from Pittsburgh, and that's where he died, and he died poor.
Yes, he did.
And all of this information, we could probably do a whole show on just Stephen Foster,
yeah.
Maybe go up to the park and shoot it, but you've got everything about his life, from the dioramas, which I guess Camptown Races and Oh Susanna, and all the songs that you may not have known were Stephen Foster's works, but you'll find out about it when you go to Stephen Foster.
Oh yes, we have tons of history, and we get a lot of our information from the University of Pittsburgh that actually has, a Stephen Foster memorial area, and they study Stephen Foster. So we get a lot of our information from him, and we have the dioramas that depict Stephen Foster songs that actually Florida artists did in the late 1940s.
Now, fast forward to 2015, here we are, and we've got a thing called the Florida Folk Festival, which started in the 50s, correct?
Yes, it did.
And it's the longest continuous. Tell me, what is it, the longest continuous festival in Florida?
It is actually one of the nation's oldest folk festivals, and it's the longest continuous state-run folk festival in the nation. So we are the largest and the oldest. So
it's funny, and there's a lot of entertainment. There's a lot of things that are going on Memorial Day weekend, and a lot of people. This has become a tradition for them.
Oh, yeah.
They don't go anywhere but Stephen Foster for the weekend of Memorial Day.
Oh, it's a great family event. I mean, it's 3 days of nothing but the best of Florida's music, arts, and culture. I mean, we do dance and food, crafts, workshops. I mean, there's a lot to do to fill up your 3 days.
Now, I'm looking at, you've done a nice little job with a poster here that are going to be posted everywhere.
Yes, sir.
If you haven't seen them, they're everywhere. The Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Now, for young people, they may not understand who Nitty Gritty Dirt Band is, but they're very popular in the late 70s, early 80s. They had a lot of hits. They're going to be the headliner.
Yes, they are.
Talk about that. This is just something that just happened, that they're going to be the headline for the show.
Well, we're very excited to have them this year. I know we've been working on trying to get them, and there's been a lot of requests for them as well. So we're very, very excited to have them come in, and they will be performing Saturday night.
That'll be the last
Yes.
music show. But folks, I was there a couple years ago and did some video. I don't know if we have that video ready to go, but just for you to get a feel of what the festival was all about, here's some video from, I think, 2011.
Okay.
And there's the Carolyn Tower that the bells ring at the top and bottom of every hour? Or just
It
the
is,
top?
well, they chime, and then they also play concerts at 10, 12, 2, and 4.
And this is Billy Dean.
And he does songwriter workshops and music workshops throughout the weekend. And he will be performing.
Now, you know, when people say Billy Dean, they don't know, but when they hear his song, they say, oh, well, yeah, I remember that, or I know that. Look at the food up there.
Tons of food.
It makes me hungry just looking at it, but this is the type of food you can get. There's several vendors up there that have food. And it's not all folk food.
Oh,
It's,
no.
You know,
It's cultural. It's great food.
and we got face painting for the kids.
I've got my car. I could take them all back, but
I'm not sure what this is, but spinning yarn. Okay, yeah, I see that.
Lots of demonstrations, especially traditional folk crafts and folk life, and modern crafts.
There we go. Now they're taking wool, and this is the way they did it in the old days. You just didn't go to Belk's to get your clothes. The ladies took and men got the cotton and or wool and made their own thread.
Oh yeah. You can do leather working and stamping.
And this is where the kids actually get to do some of that. This band was awesome. Let's listen to a little bit of it. You know, when I was shooting video up there, I was amazed by the youth. They look like they're 12 years old up there performing, and they were all very young, and they're going to be there this year.
Yes, this is Jubal's kin, and they're actually they're a family. So they're all brothers and sisters, or brothers and sisters.
You want to know how to make a log cabin?
And
There's these type of demonstrations.
Yes, Willie Lowson. We actually have a new Florida Remembered area, so we'll have a cracker cattle camp, and Mr. Lowson will be there building his cabin.
You know, and when you go out to the park, there's so much history that, again, this is kind of neat, unique, driftwood that they've carved into different types of things. Not sure I'd want that in my yard or that in my yard, but, this is kind of the way it, back in the day, you carved wood. And these guys sell mandolins. This young man has got, again, the talent out there is also unique. And the thing about it, you can walk at your own pace. You can go up to these guys. You can talk to them about how the instrument was made, where they learned how to play, where they're playing. And if, love of music is obviously you need that, but art, crafts, it's all there. I think this is Jamie Yarborough, who was actually a student here at the college and did some of these works. But a lot of artists will take their paintings up there and sell them. So if you're looking for something unique, and again, the amphitheater. Again, just go up to the park. It's really a lot of fun being in the park. and just walking around. 3-day festival starts on Friday night, and there are stages again everywhere. I was telling Andrea when I was there, I was with her predecessor, and everywhere you turn there was something to shoot. There was some sort of video that you could shoot, and again, several stages throughout the park. When does the park open on Friday? Is it?
The gates open at 8 a.m. and all the performances will start at 10 and they will go till about 11 o'clock every night. And we encourage people to participate. Bring your instruments, bring your ideas. I mean, the performers and the participants they want to sit down and talk and teach, and we do workshops, jam tents, all sorts of things.
Now, is the park, is the center open during this time? Can people walk through and see the dioramas? And so you can actually see the history. If you want to learn more about Stephen Foster, you can do that.
Yeah, we're open 365 days of the year, and from dawn until dusk, basically. About 8 a.m. now until dusk. But we have craft cabins that are open year-round, so you can go in and do different crafts: blacksmithing, weaving, leatherworking, and we've got a gift shop. We've got the museum. And we also have the Carillon Tower, which is actually the world's largest Carillon bell system.
Wow.
Not the tallest tower, but the largest bell system.
The largest bell system. Now, I'm going to read some of the people who are going to be appearing. The Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, obviously, is going to be the main attraction. Billy Dean, who you saw in the video, will be doing a workshop, but he's also going to be performing. He has several hits, country hits. He's from Florida.
Yes, yes.
It's not much for him to drive over from the Panhandle to be here. Ben Prestage, Frank Thomas, Bing Futch, Sam Passetti, the Driftwoods. I've heard of the Driftwoods, and I'm sure folks my age will have heard of them. Mean Mary, Jim Stafford. Now, Jim did a concert here, I think, last year, but he did a song. He's famous for a song called "I Don't Like Spiders or Snakes," but he's going to be doing a songwriting, which should be very interesting. Because you listen to the lyrics of "I don't like spiders or snakes," that's got to be. I mean, how do you write that?
He's a great guy and a great storyteller.
Red and Chris and their all-star band. Again, several different stages. Can they go online and see the schedule of all the events?
When they are? FloridaFolkFestival.com, and the schedule's up there, the history, our folk life area, all sorts of information about the festival. You can learn a whole lot about it.
Now, you've got to have over 300 performers, artists, craftsmen, and dancers.
Yes.
Now, when I was up there 4 years ago, we shot video of campgrounds. You allow the performers and the volunteers to camp, but you don't have enough space for people to camp.
Not for the public, but the town of White Springs is offering primitive camping in town right down the street from the park, and you can call the White Springs Town Hall, and that is actually 386-397
4478.
No, that's mine.
Oh, I'm
but
sorry.
You can call me and I can give you the number.
And she'll get you the number.
Yes.
But 397-4478.
Oh, 2310.
2310. Okay. Well, we'd go long enough. We'd figure that out. This is something. Talk about the Park Service. You work for the Park Service.
Yes, I do.
This is a state park.
Yes.
Operated by the state of Florida. The battlefield at Olustee is also a state park that your organization.
We share the battlefield with the federal lands and forestry.
Okay. Because of the Osceola National Forest.
Yes, sir.
But this is Department of Environmental Protection.
Yes.
Is the umbrella group, and talk about the support group that you have up in White Springs. There's a group of residents up there that help you to do what you need to do, because you could not put this type of festival on with just the Park Service staff.
Oh no, and the entire Park Service is over 70% self-sufficient. And so with our citizen support organizations, and we have a wonderful one at Stephen Foster, and so it's the Stephen Foster CSO, and they raise money and do outreach and all sorts of things to help us put on events, keep the park maintained, and really just keep it going as good as it is. And I mean, they do lots of things for our events. I mean, between money, volunteering, everything, I mean, they're a huge help.
Now, this is I don't want to say a cheap ticket, but it's not the most expensive. It's one day pass in advance is $25.
Yes.
That gets you in the park all day long. You can see as much as you'd like to see. And again, they've got to charge this to bring the type of acts that you've got coming.
Yes.
The weekend pass, and you've got till Friday to get this advance, is $50. If you wait and get it at the gate, the one-day pass is $30, and the gate weekend pass is $60. So $60 is a good price for,
It is.
I mean, to be able to get in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And that's 17 and up, because age 6 to 16, it's $5 for the whole weekend, and under 6 is free.
Yeah, and so if you're looking to do something on Memorial Day weekend, any day during the weekend, or all 3 days, if you'd like, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band will be the main event, like at 10 o'clock on Saturday night.
I think it's 9 o'clock on Saturday.
So it's not going to be that late of a night on Saturday night to see the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. And I'm trying to think, Mr. Bojangles was one of their big hits.
Fishing in the Dark.
Fishing, and the other thing, if for you young people out there that not familiar with Billy Dean or Jim Stafford or Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, there's a thing called YouTube, which I know you know all about. YouTube them, see their songs, and then know that you can go up to White Springs Memorial Day weekend and see this, and a bunch of other great artists that are.
Oh yes, I mean, we've got a lot of wonderful Florida talent, and then the Bureau of Florida Folklife is putting on the diverse culture of St. Johns County and St. Augustine and everything. So I mean, everything from the dancing and the food to, I mean, there's a lot to do. We are a top 20 event in the Southeast United States. We won that one.
Now I wanted to ask you about the Seminole Nation. I know Chief Billy is very involved with Stephen Foster, and the Chickees that are up there are maintained by them.
Oh yes.
Talk a little bit about that, because that's interesting. The nation of Seminole Indian tribe, I guess they're based in South Florida. They run the Hard Rock in Tampa, and so they're here all the time, making the Chickees and everything that's at Stephen Foster as authentic as possible.
Oh yes, they came up about a year ago. We actually got a new area and a new Seminole camp, and the nation came up and they built a whole Seminole camp and village with the cheeky huts and everything else. And this year we have the actual Seminole camp. They've got a stage, the canoe building, the beadwork.
Now, will they be doing any type of presentations during the weekend? So if you want to see, I mean, even if you're an FSU fan and want to know where the name originated and what the tribe was like, they will answer questions and show you the authentic way the Native Americans lived on the land before the white settlers came back in the day. So that history, I mean, we're talking all types of history.
Oh yes, I mean, it's basically, this is Florida's cultural and heritage event. I mean, we really showcase all of the history and the culture and everything that's made Florida as unique as it is.
So what you're saying is, if you live in South Florida, the only place to see that history is here, just Memorial Day weekend. I mean, there are probably other festivals but they're not like not on this level, because this is like a next level festival.
It is.
Now, you've been with the park for 3 years. Have you seen it grow? I mean, have you seen this festival get bigger?
This festival is getting bigger, and the park itself has grown, and we've really expanded a lot of our educational programs and everything that we do. I mean, we're bringing White Springs, put it on the map.
Let me ask you if there are some school teachers out there. I know that my brother went through elementary school here, and he was always talking about the day the school went to Stephen Foster. Oh, yeah. You guys still do that? Oh
yes, we do tons of education days, and actually for the Folk Festival, May 22nd, that Friday, we invite all the schools, home schools, any educational groups to come on out, and you can give us a call at the park, and we will definitely set you up and get you registered. We do education days at Olustee, and we do rural folk life days in the fall. So I mean, we do tons of things for the schools.
Yeah, it's important that young people know history, because I think, you know, a lot of kids think that their food is in a grocery store, and you know that in the old days they didn't make, you know, machines always made clothes, and you know, and to see that and to see the arts and crafts. And you may be exposing kids to a craft that it may be part of their life for, woodworking may be something that a young man maybe never considered, and now they see it and they say, I might be able to do that.
Oh yes, the woodworking and the pine needle baskets go over really well with the kids too.
I never got to see that. The director of the program is telling me the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band did a song called Make a Little Magic back in the day. So that may be something you can either Google or YouTube, and you can see that. Talk about, in addition to this festival, which is this coming weekend, the park does other things during the year. I know that every Christmas the park is lit up, and I'm sure we'll have you back to talk about the park and the lights. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, every December for just about the whole month, we do the Festival of Lights. We have over 5 million Christmas lights throughout the park, and we do stations. The museum and the gift shop are open late. I mean, it's a great
have
one.
Hot chocolate,
and
you
popcorn,
and what you do is you stay in your car.
Or you can get out too.
Can you?
Mm-hmm,
But most of it is just driving through the park and seeing the lights. How long does that take the staff to put up?
We
for
start
5 million. It's quite a bit.
Oh yeah, we start mid to late August, beginning September. I mean, and now we have new areas. We've got movie area. We have snow machines. I mean, we have all sorts. Santa. I mean, there's lots of things. I mean, you can spend the whole evening in the park.
Some people would say this is kind of the best kept secret in North Florida, because I mean, if you don't go to White Springs, I mean, I don't mean to say anything bad about White Springs, but that's not a destination, but it is with Stephen Foster.
With Stephen Foster, yes.
And so there are certain things during the year. I remember going up there a couple years ago to judge a quilt show. Mm-hmm. Now, how often do you do quilt shows?
Quilt show is every October, and this year will actually be our 27th anniversary, so it'll be October 16th through the 18th.
Now, people say quilts, that's not very popular, but it is popular.
It is. There's a huge, huge love and
there's actually a quilting guild in Lake City. Are they part of that?
They are. They are. We have a lot of guilds that come in and a lot of groups that come in, and Lady of the Lake Quilt Guild and Lake City. We get some from Madison, Gainesville, Jacksonville. We get lots of quilt ladies in, and it's really a very fine art.
Yeah, and the designs that are made just really blow you away when you think of trying to find the material that can make a certain quilt. I mean, there are themed, gator themed stuff. There's Seminole themed quilts, and so really it's become quite not just a hobby, but I mean, these ladies sell their quilts for lots of money.
Some of these art quilts will go for a couple $1,000s. I mean, they'll do long arm, they'll hand quilt it, and when you think it takes 5 years to hand quilt this extremely detailed quilt, it's beautiful to look at.
Yeah. What are some other things that go on up at the park during the year? I know you got like genie competition. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh, yes, the Florida Federation of Music comes in, and actually we've moved the dates. So it used to be in October, and in 2016 it will be in March. And we do a music competition to where students will compete for a scholarship. And they will come in and they will sing Stephen Foster songs.
Jeannie with the light brown hair.
Oh, yes.
That was, I mean, again, that's a Stephen Foster song that it's in the back of your mind, you know it, but you think, oh, yeah, that's Stephen Foster. Or Camptown races, when you think of the Kentucky Derby, you think of...
and Oh, Susanna.
Oh, Susanna. She'll be coming around the mountain. I mean, those all are part of the fabric that is Stephen Foster, and you can see it all up at Stephen Foster Folk Culture Center. You also you got tractor guys up there too.
Oh, yes.
That happens once
every
a year.
April.
Every April. Everybody brings their antique tractors, and there are guys. You think about it. Who does tractors? There are a lot of people that do tractors, that do antique tractors.
We do. We had over 100 tractors on display this past April, actually, and it was a great turnout and a great show, and it's actually just a lot of fun to see how tractors have evolved over time. We do music camps as well. We do old-time music camps, dulcimer retreats. I mean, we do all sorts of things.
So it's not just this Memorial Day weekend. The park is active all year round, and you can log on to the Stephen Foster website. And if you'd like more information about this coming festival, 877-635-3655 is the toll-free number. If you're watching this online, that's the number. But it's a weekend of really wholesome entertainment and basically enlightenment about the culture of the state of Florida, which
really is.
all happening this weekend at Stephen Foster. Andrea, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
on the program. I love when we can do a show where it just goes like, you can't even believe that that was 30 minutes long. So, and thank you for watching Perspective here on Florida Gateway College Television. Until next time, I'm Mike McKee. So long.